question mark at the bottom.
I've now got a little torch.
Oh,
And it says enable
paintbrush upside down.
Right, so if I enable, is that screen black to you now?
No. Yes.
Which screen? Oh,
Is it all
It
black?
is black now.
yes.
Well, and
it's all African American.
So now I've put
I went there. Sorry.
I've never heard a British person say African American.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure how to.
Yeah.
All right, it's a coal miner in his natural habitat.
I think now, if I say that
the coal miner is natural habitat of a coal miner is to be in an African American, is that what?
It's just dark.
Oh,
my
got
God.
it. Darkness. Got it.
No, I'll keep my mouth shut.
Oh, there we go.
What do you see now?
It's all lit, but
people?
there's two torches and it's kind of dark on the sides.
Yeah.
I see two torches, dark on the side, Count Bastion, and there's 3, 4 in the middle.
So if I move those torches
to
one side.
Awesome. It's lit up now.
Yeah,
That's
so
that
actual thing is actually a torch. And when I place it anywhere, it automatically comes with bright light for a distance of 20 feet, then low light as well. And
so that's on any picture you put on there.
Yeah, so if I drag, if I click, I could put another one here.
Oh wow.
And then that's it. I presume I can just click and delete them.
Ambient lighting.
Oh, that's quite nice. I quite like that, actually.
Very nice.
Yeah.
It's very good on standard pictures, like on maps when you can just drag it out and stretch and whatever.
Well, that's
but on an actual picture is brilliant.
Because normally what I had to do in floor plans is get a token that was a torch and put it somewhere and then set it up as a lantern or whatever. But this is miles better. This just allows me to go straight into it, and so like that'd be it. Brilliant. Okay.
The week you were thinking of leaving Roll20 as well. Amazing.
No, they actually sent me. I think they're worried, Roll20, because I've started. We get new things now for being. So I'm a premium member to get dynamic lighting, etc. And so you get freebies every month now.
Brilliant.
And they sort of like say, this is the, I mean, some of them is pointless, they're not good. But one of the things that I'm going to use is they've given us a tavern that is a whole load of floors in different, so it's in snow, it's lit, it's in darkness and things like that, which is really, it comes with the dynamic lighting already in it, which is really, really helpful. It takes a lot of time to sort of like do that with your lines, etc. But yeah, so they sent me a survey this morning and said, what do you like? What do you like? What do you dislike? And what I said, I would want more dungeons for Mithras. So it comes
and £20,000.
Yeah, only 20,000. Oh, I went for a bit more than 20,000. I think.
Wow, $1 gajillion.
Yeah, I hope I win the lottery tonight because it's 114 million.
No, that was euros last night. You missed it.
I think I'll probably miss tonight's as well. Yeah. Anyway, hello everyone, welcome. We are live. It seemed like we were just having a quiet chat between us.
A chat in the cafe.
Yeah, I have been. There's something called Stream Loots that allows people to play different cards that happen in your stream, and I am going to make up a set for this game. So like it might be that you can. A card might allow you to take away 10 from a roll, which means that you would succeed, or to give you extra luck or something like that, at random points. But also, I thought it'd be fun to actually have a kill card. Somebody plays it, then the character just dies.
or to sober up Cyrus.
No, I don't want
Sobered me up.
to. I don't want to go for
Yeah.
things that are impossible.
Take it beyond
Yeah,
sober.
impossible and unlikely. I think both of those. I've actually started a new document, Cyrus. It's called
Oh no.
Cyrus was drunk in front of, and then I'm just having a list.
It'd almost be easier to list of people he hasn't been drunk in front of.
Well, yeah, that's what
And
I'm
you can just
finding.
kinda
I'm thinking,
Scratch them off.
It's,
as you
it's
go.
called Have I Ever?
have I ever been? So yeah, so hello everyone, welcome to tonight's adventure. We're playing Mythras, which is a D100 fantasy role-playing game created by the Design Mechanism, that who kindly sponsors the game. Not everybody, I must say. Mr. Pickles, your appearance on the podcast has boosted the podcast by a significant amount. We're up to 98 downloads so far.
One of them was me.
That's me.
Yeah. You're just going to
89, 90.
you're just listening and going to sleep hearing Mr. Pickles' dulcet tones.
It sounded creepy what I put by the way, but it's true.
Yeah, 98. So we normally get about somewhere between 175 and 200 in the first sort of
That's it's half what it normally is then. That's really
it is. It's
Yeah. So if anything, he depleted.
Yeah.
He scared away half your audience.
no,
is what you're
it's
trying to say.
that's at the end of the month.
Oh, got it.
So
We're making progress.
we're actually over halfway and doing
or
well.
the people that normally listen at the end are listening at the start now.
Yeah, and I've had no feedback apart from you, Medivac, about how wonderful. But
Sorry, Wells.
I was just so disappointed that I've been doing it for like what episode are we up to? Episode
30. No, 29.
29, and nobody's ever said, wow, Inwills, you have a really nice voice. I was like, Mr. Pickles comes on it once and everybody's swooning in the background. So
My name's Mr.
You brought out the good microphones, like, hey, everybody.
Our
Yeah.
perspective,
yeah, it's just sort of
Wells.
like
The Mithras is kind of an interesting dilemma.
well, I'm just pleased that I'm going to hit episode 30. You know,
It's
that's
a splexing thing of the thing gnome of the thingy of the what we call it.
I don't know what you're talking.
No.
So I need. I'll see what happens ready for next month. I don't know what I'm doing yet. But yeah, you're doing well, Mr. Pickles. So well done,
I'm going to come on next month and reverse what Mr. Pickles has done.
Mr. Well,
Hell. The anti-pickles.
yeah. And today we are joined by the anti-pickles. Okay, let's get on with it before it's time for the break. So the party are starting a new adventure. They've they found out that they had a new companion last week called Ulrich, and they were then summoned to Count Bastion's chamber to actually receive their next job, their next quest. So before I go into that in any more detail, I'll allow the players an opportunity for them to say who they are and who they are playing tonight. And as always, we start with the Pickles.
That's me. I'm Mr. Pickles, and I play Bartleby Fumus, which is our team's theist, one of our two casters in the group. Bartleby is able to do a lot of healing, helping. Almost all of his prayers and miracles are about recovering people, putting bodies back together, laying spirits to rest, protection. He has a few prayers of strength and unearthly vision. I like to think of it as sort of getting that reflected moon vision from Amriel, as she is a moon goddess. But beyond those miracles and prayers that Bartleby can do, he also is our team's historian, knows a lot about monsters, local history, and he's particularly most effective at knowledge about the impoverished areas of Lindo, his home city. He's not a fighter. He's average sized and he's average strength. His power lies in his connection to Amriel and not his ability to swing a club very clumsily. And with that, I'm going to pass the microphone over to our other spellcaster, Captain Kangaroo.
That's right. Everybody, I'm Captain Kangaroo. I play Cyrus today. He is your go-to egotistical narcissist. He's a spellcaster, but like a very useful spellcaster, and like Mr. Pickles, who just there kind of just in the background, making sure we don't get our boo-boos. He's also sorry. He's also able to handle himself a little bit on hand-to-hand combat and with his big, very large phallic was it? It's not scythe. It's a glaive, big phallic glaive that he lights on fire, so everyone knows like, hey, this is gonna burn you up. He's not average height, but maybe just below average a little bit, and that doesn't affect his personality whatsoever. He's very, very secure with his height, as everyone reminds him. But besides that, we'll see if he fucks things up like always for everyone, or maybe we can actually go somewhere with him. From there, I'm going to pass the microphone to Medevac.
Why, thank you, Cyrus, aka Captain Kangaroo. I am Medivac and I play Hazra Khan. I would go old school. He's a nomad from the steppes. He went away to track down a group of bandits that raided his people. And when he got back to his tribe, they had gone. Some say, aka in Wells, that they left him on purpose, but they didn't. They just moved on. And he couldn't find them again because the he's I can see you laughing. Because his tribe just is so mystical and disappears.
I just think that you're all really good trackers in the tribe.
I know, they're like, where's it gone? Oi, where are you? Okay, oh, it's not you. And with that, he set off down south. And on the way to Lindo, he helped many a farmer find a lost sheep or a child or many things, or track down bandits who were raiding people. And when he got there, he fell in with this lovely group here. There were many before, but Mr. Pickles is still here, and Cyrus joined. Cyrus is a lovely person who has magic power beyond what Hazra can. Mr. Bartleby is, why do we call him Mr.? But Bartleby is
Respect.
an amazing,
I think it's
it is respect.
Yeah.
It is respect. Mr. Bartleby is an amazing clerical skill. He has saved me so many times, and then vice versa, really. Hazra is adept in the outdoors of things. He's an awesome tracker, forager. He can throw a spear through a crazy combat group and hit his target. But his spear is a rare thing. It's made from his blood, or his blood goes infused into it. He's recently been attuned to a spirit that has made itself known to him through the Brotherhood that he follows, which is a group of people that keep a track of the changes which things have on areas, biomes, and how we as people affect things and how nature affects things, and they make a record of everything. And I'm one of those people that tell them what happens. Yeah, and with that, I'm not going to go to my other thing, but go on, yeah, I'll pass it on to Ulrich, who is the newest member of our group.
Ulrich is.
And he will explain himself.
Yeah,
in great detail.
Ulrich strangely appeared last adventure and claims that he's been sent to learn from the party by his master, who he calls Vex. No, historian Bartleby did a quick search and can't find out who this Vex is, but Ulrich seems very loyal he seems very quiet and somewhat mysterious. He has very strong armor on. His helmet is on his belt. His shield is on his back. And he looks quite youthful. You sort of like, everybody thinks he's maybe late teens, early 20s. And he has shoulder length white hair. It's not grey, it's just pure white, and very pale skin tone as well. It's almost as if he's been in armor all his life. And apart from that, the party don't know a lot about him. They haven't seen him in action or anything like that. The other thing that exciting happened last session was that Bartleby actually advanced a level in his order. So he's now an acolyte. Is that right?
Yes, I'm an acolyte.
Yeah. So I think is next one priest.
It is. And then high priest.
And then high priest. And then you can start resurrecting people. So there's no levels in the game at all, but progression is matched via increasing in their orders or their skills. Okay, so as well as your Ulrich joining the party last week, they were summoned to Count Bastion's to receive a quest, a job. Count Bastion is the person who is in charge of Lindo, and he has a castle over to one side, and the party attended. Cyrus, unfortunately, has a problem with alcohol, and he turned up drunk, attempted to bow, failed his role, and his I can stand up roll, or keep standing up roll, and headbutted the marble floor, which gave him quite a gash on his head.
It left a mark too, right? On the marble floor?
Yeah, there is
It did.
definitely a splatter of blood there.
I call it Cyrus versus gravity. but,
Yeah,
You know,
gravity definitely won again.
she's
This
a harsh mistake.
Yeah. When the party arrived, they found that their friends, or not friends, depending who you speak to in the party, the guild masters were there, and the characters have worked with the guild masters before in the past. They did an adventure called Guarding the Guild Mistress that had a really interesting ending when Bartleby released his shock spell to deal justice to the Thieves Guild. And they also got sent off to a bridge where they found that there was some kind of ritual sacred ground. Cyrus and Hazra are not fond of the guild masters or the guild merchants in any sense of the word. Bartleby is a little bit more in with them, like he is in with the guards. And Ulrich, of course, remains silent and says nothing about what's happening. So we're going to pick it up from where we had to finish quite rapidly last time. So I sort of like gave you the brief outline and we stopped. So we're going to backpedal, rewind a bit, and I'm going to start off when Count Bastion actually tells you what's going on and what the job entails. So we'll go from the point that Cyrus has been picked up off the floor, and he's maybe Hazra is keeping him upright at the present moment in time.
Put my spear down his spine to the.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You put it down the back of his jacket.
Well, that fucker came out of nowhere. Who was that?
And Count Bastion, you naturally all bow, and that's when Cyrus fell to the floor. And the Count Bastion sits on his throne a little bit away from you. The guild members are to the left and the right, sat on wooden stools, and they seem to be chattering discreetly as the Count tells you what has happened. So he said, I am honored to have you back in my noble throne room. It is quite obvious that a lot has happened since we had that most unfortunate event some time ago. And he sort of like, on a side point, he says, notice we have no more carpets in this place.
He will notice that Hazra is looking for carpets.
Yeah. He sort of like says, yes, we have no carpets in this place. He says, I believe you know the guild masters. They are here at my behest. I would like them present because there is something amiss, something that is strange, and we are not sure what is going on, and we require the services of people of your caliber and with your specific skill set. You may be aware that we established a trade agreement with Irwood some time ago. I think you were instrumental in that, in the closing of that deal. If you remember, Irwood mainly serves timber, timber that we are very grateful for. And with this timber at the present moment in time, and this is to go no further than these wars, I trust I can rely on your discretion.
I'll nod.
The Cyrus, don't nod. Just stay upright. He says, the timber is being used to make the first flagship in my armada. It is about time that Lindo not only controlled the surrounding land, but also the surrounding sea as well. With this timber, we have been hard at work building the main flagship for our armada. But about 2.5, 3 months ago, the supply of timber from Irwood ceased. Obviously, we were somewhat dismayed by this, and 2 months ago, we sent messengers down to Irwood to ascertain whether or not we needed to, if there was a problem in supply, a problem whether or not we needed to renegotiate the original treaty, or whether or not there was something even stranger going on. Sad to say, they have not returned. We have not heard back from them at all. We sent 2 clerks and 6 well-trained soldiers as their guards. Like I say, we have heard nothing back, and we are somewhat worried that something might be amiss, either in Irwood itself or possibly on the journey, on the road between Lindo and Irwood itself. As you will be aware, there has been several unfortunate events happening on that road, and it might be that there is something amiss, something that is preventing the trade, someone or maybe something. We ask you to, as a party, to find out what is happening and hopefully to re-establish the trade with Irwood. Are you willing?
It would be our honor.
Now, I understand, Mr. Counter. So what my understanding is, like many men your age, you are not able to get wood, right? Now, personally, when I have that problem, there's a few places down the Port District. I'm able to summon wood whenever I want.
Saris,
I'm with there.
Saris, I'll stop you
What?
here, my friend. Saris, seriously, Saris, my friend. Yes, Count Bastian, we will be honored to help.
I
It's
suggest
very-
he talks to you, Hazra, and to you, Bartleby. He says, I suggest you keep your underling in check.
No, he's not underling, but he's saying,
Underling. What the hell are you calling an
No,
underling?
Cyrus, please let me and Bartleby please talk to the count.
I'm
And
gonna take a
he's
sip.
a very powerful man, but he
Very.
has issues, and we are trying to maybe help him with these things, but it takes time. You know these things; it take time. It's like your. I'll take my pen. There we go. It's like it,
I appreciate your.
it's like your guild masters here. Sorry, they can be very amazingly confident and protective with you when they want something, but then when they don't need you, they will distance themselves, as you have probably seen many times. I have seen this.
I am pleased that you are counseling your friend, but I think we have more important matters to deal with at the present moment in time.
That much is true, and we accept your challenge
Finding our Woody.
to find out what has stopped the wood coming to Lindo, because just out of interest, and this is none of my business because I'm just a poor woodsman who likes to live in the why are you building an Amahata? Because I thought you were quite happy here. I know you have incursions from strange creatures.
There is a need to expand. Always a need to expand. We are not
Why?
more trade, more
Well,
trade
you don't
routes
need-
across the sea. You will be well known that there is a whole continent further away. And Lindo being a seaport, we have well-established trade routes already in place. It would be so much
But-
better to extend these.
My apologies, Kant. The word armada to me meant a massive war fleet.
I hate to tell you this, Master Hazra. I do not have to explain myself to you.
That is true. I live in your country,
Correct.
and I'm grateful for living here, and I bow in respect to you. So my apologies, sir.
Will you be willing to seek out the error, the problems that are happening for the existing trade route? Is that something that you will be willing to take on board?
I'm sure Bartleby and Cyrus and I, and even Ulrich over here, who's newer to our membership,
He does not.
will gratefully take on this challenge for you, sir.
So I think it only comes down to, now that the job has been accepted, it comes down to payment. Tell me, what are your requirements?
I will leave this to Bartleby.
Inwills, is there? I was looking at the pay per week by social class in the rule book, and I wasn't sure if that's accurate for your setting here. I can post what I was looking at in the group chat, or if I could perhaps roll commerce for a hint as to the range, because my guess based on this, if this is common knowledge and if it's true, that for a few weeks, and if we call ourselves aristocrats because we're very wanted,
yeah,
it'd be like
that works, but yeah, that is what we're playing to. Yeah.
Okay, if we're going for a few weeks, then that would be like 1,200 silver each.
And it's whether or not you gain from the tone of the Count Bastion that it might be that there is more at stake here. It might just not be money that you might be able to ascertain as payment.
That's the good one.
So it could be silver if you wish, or it might be something else that you require. And you think that's why he's probably opened it up. You also think that he's probably dealing you some kind of respect as well as people who are good at their jobs. And probably he's not all that knowledgeable about what to pay, and also whether or not where your loyalties may lie. I'll give you that without a roll.
Okay,
So,
and I have. I'll go for it.
I want to whisper to both to both these guys, and I guess Ulrich or Ulfric or whatever his name is. So I'm slightly sobering up, but not too bad. All right. So one, we either ask for a ship so we can explore elsewhere, or two, we ask for a large donation to each of our personal like guilds or in your case it would be your church, my order, and whatever medevac does. I'm assuming the surrounding a farm all day guild. I don't know.
I'm going to cut you off, Cyrus. We shouldn't be whispering in court. Count Bastian, I believe for this kind of endeavor, the fair payment would be 1,500 silver each. And I was hoping perhaps, due to our helping you in this case, you might be able to write a letter of recommendation to, or of our service to our respective mentors. Cyrus's mentor at the Order of the Phoenix and my mentor at the Temple of Amriel.
He says, you notice that when Cyrus was whispering with his perception roll there, he overheard snippets of things, and Count Bastian sort of like says, is this silver to be in your own pockets or to be given to your orders?
In the case of myself, I'm sure you know where my silver will be donated to. I heard Hazra mentioning something about a horse a while back, so I don't know, he might be getting that. But either way, the silver will still stay within Lindo. The money will be spent to benefit the people.
It'll be recirculated to the economy. Hence, actually something useful compared to these dumb merchant.
And
I don't think this is the situation I want you to be backing me up, Cyrus.
you therefore forego the request of a ship.
Cyrus's dreams might be a little bit too excessive. We seek to serve the city of Lindo.
Unless perhaps we need a ship for this mission, but no.
The road to Erwood is across plains lands. You'll be fine.
We know this.
Yes.
It's fine, yes. I jest in the sense of...
So
Gravity.
you require 12,000 silver pieces to be either given to yourselves or to your orders, whichever you decide to do. And Mr. Hazra, I am unfamiliar if you are a member of any order at all. I'm not sure what happens in the wilderness beyond the walls of Lindo, but Cyrus's order and Bartleby's order I am aware of. And he sort of like turns to Ulrich and says, and Ulrich, and you notice that he knows his name, and will you be requiring cash? Will you be requiring coinage, or will you, as usual, forego the payment? And Ulrich sort of like does a gentle nod of acknowledgement and says, our treaty will remain as before. I am sure that if I am ever in need, you will, of course, support. And Count Bastian says, of course. And you sense there was a sense of knowing between the two. And Count Bastian stands up, and as he stands up, everybody else quite naturally stands up. And he says, the money will be given on successful completion. Half before, however, to show you that my desire and my treaty and understanding about business is secure, I will give half of them, the first half, to the Cyrus and Bartleby's orders, and Hazra, you will take the first 6,000 silver pieces, I am assuming, yourself. I will have
Thank you,
this
sir.
sent to you. Mr. Hazra, where would you like the money sent to? This is a
I can-
huge amount of silver pieces.
No, I'm just thinking, how can you carry 6,000 to?
I did say 1,200, or I said 1,500 to start with, and I thought you were downgrading it to 1,200, and then I just
Yeah.
realized the 12,000.
Yeah.
This feels like I accidentally got a hidden blind roll critical success at commerce.
3 times. in a row.
Not to be the one raining on our potential silver parade.
I would like half sent to
A charity. in
no,
Shared
come
it
back,
in my
Brian.
name.
I would like
Hazardous tots.
3,000 sent to Basil at the sniffling. No,
I spend like 750
At this
silver a
point, we might as well
year.
just be an investor in his
what?
crappy business.
That's not a sniffling. What's it called?
Hairy hobgoblin.
Harry Hobgoblin.
Sniffling Boar is the one across the street that we don't
Yeah.
talk
Oh,
about.
that's
We
right.
don't.
Yes.
I think I'm just looking at your character sheet, Bartleby, if you see me. I think if you go into your equipment, I think we put in, so a silver piece is 0.01 for encumbrance purposes.
Mm.
So you can type in the amount, 6,000 silver pieces into that, and
Right.
it will then tell you whether or not you are over encumbrant on the first sheet. I didn't
Was it
realize that.
6,000, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Cyrus is gonna whisper into Bartleby's ear. Is he still gonna do the letters?
I'm pretty sure.
Letters. Ask him about the
Stop
letters.
whispering.
I keep nudging him. Ask him about the letters.
He sort of like
Yeah.
bows. Count Bastion nods in agreement and walks towards the side door, and then he says, I will be sending formal letters to both your church, Mr. Bartleby, and your order, Captain Cyrus. And nods.
And to me too.
Whoa!
so-
he did.
Rewind.
He
Do
would.
I got a rank?
he would send it to. He doesn't know who your order is, Hazra. That would be the
No,
issue.
that's fine. Cambastian, if you could send me an open-ended letter. that would be-
Hazra is a very nice person.
to whom it may concern.
Yeah. Okay, and there's various nods, and he agrees that he'll send your letter of commendation to the Hairy Hobgoblin, which is your point of contact in any case, Hazra. Ulrich seems to be not needing anything like that, and you do sort of like all bow as Count Bastion leaves the room, and you are ushered out by guards, and as you leave you notice that a servant quickly rushes in with a small pail and mop and removes the blood stain that Cyrus quite nicely left on the floor. Now, you've never been to Irwood itself, but you know of it. So I've just sort of like transferred you to your map, which is now in Roll20, but you can also get it from World Anvil, as you can see. So you can see where Lindo is. You've been up that river up to the sort of like northwest quite a few times, and you can see Eubin Falls up there as well. And the lake, this is the lake, if you remember, that you circumvented in order to get into the underground cave system up there. Lord Dryston's accommodation is up here near the swamp, where you had the encounter with the Batrachians up there.
Batrachians, yes, the mad run through the forest. Going, oh my
Yeah.
God, Bava!
And down about sort of like here on the map is when, if anybody remembers or was along for the Library of the Mystics, that was there. And round about here, close to that, but a little bit further southwest, was when you encountered the wolves. If you remember, when you had to get the person through to stab the to make sure that whatever was going to happen for the next 100 years happened, and that's it. And you can see that Irwood is further south. You've heard various things about it. You have heard that it's not a metropolis like Lindo. But it's not a hamlet. It's well established. It could have outside palisades, but not walls, unlike Lindo, of course. It's mainly been situated for trade and timber. So forestry and lumber is the main sort of like source. You do know that it sits in the middle of an area of grassland, but the forest was a lot closer to it in the past.
Okay.
And what they've done is that you can see from the map, they've slowly deforested the area. And now, although they're still using the timber around, it means that there's a slightly longer journey to bring them in. This is all common knowledge. You can see that the road down is quite long. It's an established trade route. So it's a path or a wagon train that you can follow quite nicely. There's no need to do navigations down the track or anything like that. It's completely set out. Hazra, you do have Brutus and a wagon, if I remember correctly.
I do indeed, yes. I was writing down Brutus's name, funnily enough.
Yeah, so that could be your main form of transport if you wish to take Brutus.
I would. It
Yeah.
is a good walkout. Yes.
Yeah, and it means that it allows you to carry whatever you wish to carry on your way. So try.
Exactly.
I think you've probably done this before, but you probably have separate load outs. So you might have things that you actually carry with you all the time, and
That's right,
things
it's up
that
in
you
cars.
use when you're traveling. So Bartleby probably has a few more extra candles. And you're sort of like, you're going to have time to have a chat in a second, but there's certain things that happen beforehand, and both yourself, Bartleby, and Cyrus, you get summoned probably the next day once letters have been sent to your various orders, and you, Bartleby, are asked to meet with your new mentor, if you remember her name.
Margot Ora.
Yeah. And you're sort of like brought into her presence, and she appears to be elated. You're not too sure whether or not she's elated because of the letter of your commendation or the fact that 6,000 silver pieces has just come into the church. And she sort of like ushers you in and requires you to sit and says, "Oh, Bartleby, we are astounded that you have not only convinced a number of the merchants around Lindo to actually contribute to our cause, but you have brought in even more coinage just by being you, it appears."
everything I do is in Amriel's glory.
Oh, yes,
I'm
definitely.
just doing my best to help the church and
Def-
help our city of Lindo.
Oh, definitely. And I can certainly see where this 6,000, this coinage can be used to further the aims of Lindo itself. Did you have any ideas about where you would use such a healthy amount of coin?
Well, I'm not too sure. You are certainly higher in the church than I am. So whatever it is you wish to do with this coinage, I believe will be done in the proper name of Amriel.
Oh,
Consider this my thanks for honoring me and bringing me to this level of acolyte within the church.
Oh, I think I can think of several very good projects to start with this humble amount. And I hear that there is more coming.
There certainly should be.
I was wise to invest in you, Mr. Bartleby. Initially, I thought you were just a lowly acolyte who used to, busy himself in the lowest slums area of Lindo. But I see you are not only capable of meeting the needs of the, shall we say, less fortunate of our congregation, but also it appears that you are very good at bringing in significant amount of coinage. And this letter, it certainly sings your praises. I am well impressed, and this will go into your book so that when your next promotion comes round, people will be able to see that you have the blessing of Count Bastian himself.
I greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much, Margot Ora.
If you please, just call me Margot. We are, of course, on friendly terms, especially with this amount of silver coming into my possession. I can reassure you, Mr. Bartleby, that your journey to becoming a priest is well on its way. Yes, most definitely well on its way. And she dismisses you as you leave. Could you just make a perception roll for me, please?
Uh-oh.
I hate Bartleby.
Yeah, and
It's
as
like flipping you off as you walk away.
as you walk out, as you turn and walk out, almost like too prematurely, she sort of like calls her scribe over and seems to be talking about, and it's interesting what you put in the chat as well, seems to be talking about a tailor of some renown, and almost like trying to arrange a fitting, maybe possibly just for some new clerical robes.
Or for 6,000 silver pieces.
Yeah, and she sort of like, and you close the door and ponder it. Cyrus, you also get back to the order, and you're summoned to the person who is not your mentor, but the deputy in charge of the Red Order. So the deputy, in this sense, would be the person in charge of the Order House here in Lindo. Mm-hmm. There will be, of course, somebody higher than them, and they will be
at a more headquarters station.
Yes, exactly. Right? And you'll be pleased to know that at this present moment in time, it's not Melanie. Just so you know, as you arrive, and you probably do your normal of knocking and walking straight in, and the leader of your order here seems to be reading a letter. And he sort of like gestures to a chair for you to sit in. And he says, "My, oh my, Cyrus, not only were you content to pass out under the influence of alcohol and mark Count Bastian's marble floor, You also seem to have referred to his sexual inadequacies to the Count Cyrus. Count
Yeah, that
Bastion.
sounds. I don't remember entirely what happened, but that sounds pretty consistent with what I usually do. Yeah.
And it seems that you have been able to bring us some money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think expresses more than what I can do in a court. Am I correct? I'm assuming we can use money more than we can
Oh, we can certainly use.
theatrics.
We can certainly use the money. Unfortunately, we don't have it at the present moment in time.
Pardon? Sorry.
We do not have it at the present moment in
Yet.
time.
Yet, because I'm gonna do something, show my allegiance, and show how great we, as a representative of the order, deal with the problems of this great city, and then bam, he'll give you some money.
Yes.
And it's going to be a pretty hefty donation, pretty large.
I agree. A grand total of 12,000 silver pieces on completion of unraveling the mystery of what is happening with the trade route to Irwood. And
a place, the trade route that I helped develop.
And one other thing that needs to be done in order to secure the money.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite a simple thing, Cyrus, and I know you will not flinch at this one little bit, but it appears that you have aggravated Count Bastion, not only for being in his presence rather drunk and marking his marble floor, but then talking about his inadequacies in the bedroom.
Sometimes we have to talk about our problems, and
he is willing. He's willing to release the money on two conditions. Number one, successful meeting the successful criteria of the job, and number two, a formal verbal apology from yourself to the Count, and then he will release the money.
That seems fair. Yeah, that seems fair. Now, I have to be sober in this, or?
I suggest, Mr. Cyrus, that you seriously consider your relationship with alcohol at this point, and also maybe how guard your tongue. As you are aware, most of us are fiery and share the same attributes, quick to anger, etc. However, you will also know that the Order of the Phoenix is well known for their battle strategies to accompany the army as battle mages. I am not too sure there will be anybody who is willing to hire your services if you have a rather dubious relationship with alcohol.
Are we all kind of alcoholics, though, here?
You can speak for yourself. Before you go...
literally see wine right there.
Before you go, there is somebody who would like to speak to you. And
well, before we allow someone I'm probably going to dislike talking to, I just want to bring up one thing. I've been part of this order for a long time, and I've showed my dedication both in actions and improving my ability with the magical arts. I've proven myself in developing not only my ability to fight, but also my ability to cast spells. I was wondering if I can get a promotion or be considered for promotion within the order to that of an apprentice.
There is only one thing that stands in your way, Cyrus, of a promotion, and that is yourself.
It's a tough one. I'm very strong and powerful, so it makes sense.
He hands over what appears to be a sealed envelope, a sealed piece of paper. It has a wax seal on it, and he hands it over to you while standing up and saying, there is somebody in Lindo who would like to discuss with you a proposition. It links to your journey to Erwood. I suggest you go and see her, either alone or with your companions. Either. And please, Cyrus, try not to bring the whole of the Order of the Phoenix into disrepute. We would hate to have to, shall we say, extinguish your flame. He hands over. The first thing you know, can Cyrus read?
He's
Does he have a literacy skill?
he can say things.
so does he have a literacy skill?
We covered this last time. No, he doesn't.
He's more of a visual learner.
Yeah, so
But he won't let on, will he?
no.
Cyrus?
So you can see that this sealed envelope has you can recognize your name.
Mm-hmm.
There's some. It definitely says Cyrus on it, and there's definitely.
I'm used to seeing it in Crown, though.
Yeah, well, there's some writing before and writing after that is quite squiggly. You're not.
Cyrus, he'll die.
Yeah, open this and die.
Yeah.
So it might be
Full of
that you would
anthrax.
like to find Bartleby, who would be able to read that and the contents for you. if
Really,
you-
I just want to hang out with Bartleby, obviously, and if he wants to read the letter that I have, I'm not gonna stop him. So yeah, sure.
Okay, then. So let's say that Cyrus goes back to the Hairy Hobgoblin Hazra. You're there, and so are you, Bartleby. You're making final arrangements for going down, and Hazra, you're calculating how much oxen feed you're going to need to buy to keep Brutus going, and the idea of whether or not you're going to sleep under the stars, etc. Yeah, go for it.
I want to talk to Basil as well and say, Basil, we are doing a job for Count Bastian, and I've asked him
For
to send you
Count
some money.
Bastian, you're in.
Yeah. I know Count Bastian. We worked for him before, you know this.
I
Basil.
know. I thought that was just a one-off.
No, apparently we are so good at that job.
I am
because he
so
wants to
mighty
work us
proud
twice.
of you, Hazra. So mighty proud.
Well, it's something I've done for you, Basil, because you helped us out by oh God, what's the word? You helped us out by letting us stay here when we had our last.
Oh,
mission
you have
round here.
paid for that many times over by rescuing my business from the gutter.
Well, this is the thing. I want to
Many
make
times over.
sure. I want to make sure you're never in that position again. So I've asked Count Bastian to send you here 6,000 silver coins to make sure you stay open, and you must use this wisely, Basil.
his
Make
mouth,
sure-
his mouth drops.
No,
The color
Make
slowly
sure
fades.
your
from-
ladies are employed, and the food you send never changes because your food is amazing.
Mr. Hazra, I don't know what to say. All this coinage to
Just-
me.
Just say yes, Basil.
Oh, of course, I would say yes. I'm honoured that you would think of me. I have great plans for this place,
And me and my friends get to drink here for free for the rest of our lives.
and yes,
joking.
of course,
Apart from
Hazra.
Cyrus. Apart from Cyrus.
He has to pay. I know what you
I
mean,
know he has
Hazra.
to pay.
He has to
I was
pay.
not supposed to.
He says, Boris says, can I tell you about my first innovation that I'm hoping to put into place now that I've got all this money, Mr. Hazra? Would you like to know?
I would love to hear it, Basil, but could you tell me after we've actually completed our mission? Because
He's
unless
gonna
we
introduce
complete our
salt
mission,
to the crappy food.
Well, I'll just
Yeah.
give you a slight hint and just say
no.
tablecloths.
Ooh, fancy.
Napkins on tables.
Oh, we're not going that
Right.
far. We don't want to use napkins. I've got a reputation to uphold. But I tell you, tablecloths might bring in a different clientele. I tell
Do-
you.
Do you not think that people putting daggers on the table through the cloth might ruin them?
With 6,000 silver, I can buy a whole warehouse. If somebody stabs it, I can just bin it and move on to the next one.
No, this is
Mr.
your
Hasra,
future.
you are so kind. A
That is
future,
fine, Basil.
a future of tablecloths. That's what we need.
It is the way forward.
Has Mr. Pickles left everything or just?
He said,
He said his.
I've had enough of tablecloths. I'm going. Goodbye. Oh, I said,
He's really against tablecloths, and I understand. He's a messy eater.
Is
yeah,
it?
insect went glitchy.
Has he
Yeah,
put some? Oh,
as Cyrus is saying, sorry.
yeah. You're all in
Yeah, it's all
different
glitchy.
places. Let me just.
I'm in the UK. Hello.
Who am I? Who am I? Am I Mr. Pickles?
You are. You've all moved up one.
Do that. Do that.
Bartleby
Do it.
is.
Do it.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
it.
Right, put
There we
you
go.
there.
Yeah.
Put
Big.
you.
Who am I?
I got the bias and the tries.
You were. I know what you're gonna do. Yeah, you were
Sure.
Cyrus.
Hang on. One sec. Don't break it.
Oh
Don't
no,
break
he's
it.
gone. He's gone from
No.
the.
No.
He's gone from the
Say
whole.
it so.
This is the 21st century. Why do we not have consistent internet?
I know. In
Oh
America,
no, it's not worked.
The heck?
why do we not have consistent? Why doesn't America have consistent internet?
Damn it, China! Stop hacking us.
Obama said that in the world that we live in, that there should be Wi-Fi everywhere. He actually
Yeah,
did say
we-
that.
On buses,
There's
on
Wi-Fi
trains.
everywhere if you pay for it, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We get free Wi-Fi over here. Do you get free Wi-Fi over there?
No.
Ours is all free in the UK. We like
Mr.
Korea.
Pickles has entered the waiting room. Shall we let him in?
No.
He needs to keep those racist comments himself.
He's
but
in now.
besides that,
He's
I
in
think-
it. What?
oh,
He's
sorry,
back.
what?
Watch it.
Oh my God.
I don't
Um,
know.
Hello,
I
Mr.
think the internet
Pickles.
heated up and everybody just went into a robot. Well,
that's
What
not
do
a
you hear?
problem.
You
So,
got Hank.
Extra Marmite. Extra Marmite.
so Mr. Is Bartleby willing to read the letter?
let me approach it. Let me approach it. Hold on, I got this. So we got approached by my order, and we have possibly another endeavor while we're gonna do this next thing. But I want your guys' opinion on this. You go ahead and read this. I'm gonna open the seal and make it look like I've read it
Nice.
already. Yeah, and I want to pass it off to Bartleby. I'm gonna suggest you read it to Hazra, because I don't know if Hazra can read or not.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Bartleby will give it a read.
Yeah.
Well
So
played, sir. Well played.
it appears to be from somebody just who names herself the lady. That's it. And that's what she.
Narcissist.
That's how she signs it. You do notice that it's addressed specifically and personally to Cyrus, and it is asking for his help since she has heard of his expertise in the past.
I wonder which expertise she's
Well,
talking about.
yeah. And it doesn't mention
You
that
know.
Bartleby. It doesn't matter. It just says Cyrus's certain small expertise. It appears to. It seems, Bartleby, that the lady is writing to Cyrus, but maybe does not know Cyrus. There's no personal information about him or anything like that. And it's more about her. The content of the letter is more about her. And it seems that she is requiring some assistance to get to Erwood. It appears that she and her husband arrived in Lindo a few months ago, seeking their fortune with a small inheritance from her mother. But recently, a couple of months ago, her husband went with the party down to Erwood as one of the trade inspectors, one of the people like a guild merchant to ensure that everything was done and correct. Unfortunately, he's never returned. She seems to be quite stressed about it. She says that obviously pots of money do not live and will not cause her to be able to keep alive forever. And she's becoming somewhat bored, almost like disliking Lindo, almost like upsetting, because she wants to be with her husband. And she would like to accompany Cyrus and the group, which she doesn't say that, she just mentions Cyrus, on his trip to Erwood. It does say that she found this out from a good friend of hers, and she does believe Cyrus is as well, Count Bastian. Count Bastian put her onto Cyrus. The letter doesn't refer to you, Bartleby, or you, Hazra, or Ulrich at all. It seems to be very directed at Cyrus,
Yes.
and it's full of admiration. And every time Cyrus's name is mentioned in the letter, it says things like the adorable, the fantastic, the undescribable, the powerful Cyrus. It's almost like adjectives all the time. And
Great adjectives.
she is willing, she says, if it is possible to accompany Cyrus, then you are to send word to her accommodation, which is she's staying with somebody upon Noble Hill, via a Bluebird, and she will be ready to at the sort of like the northwestern gate at a time of your convenience. She will say that she will be accompanied. She has her own covered wagon that she has bought, and she will be accompanied by 2 guards and 4 servants, and that's like her entourage that she will be.
Mr. P's
traveling.
gone again.
Oh, is he gone again?
Yeah, if I can interrupt, it was
Oh,
starting to glitch out. I turned off my video, but I'm still here, and that seems to be helping a little bit.
Yeah, that's cool. That's not a problem.
Can you put the picture up?
Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure it didn't mess up your.
Oh yeah,
your
do you want
cameras.
the hang on, Muscle Pickles?
Yeah, I won't be Muscle Pickles instead of
Where's the muscle pickle?
prison cat.
It's a pickle with
Oh, the only issue,
muscles.
it says Newman underneath it.
Oh,
Uh,
old man.
let's see. Yeah, so it
Well,
was.
I do appreciate how much this woman has held back her praise of me. Obviously, she's a fan, and I
Oh, she's most definitely a fan. She loves you.
and
I-
obviously one of dozens, but it's nice to hear, from a personal fan. Should we go together, or should we get a Bluebird to send
Look,
her that she can come with us, or no?
Do you even know her?
Cyrus,
I know all my fans, but not personally. Not personally, but I
But-
understand them. And that's
Look.
really that's what matters the most.
when we have people willing to pay us money, you seem to just absolutely not trust them and chafe at the idea of humoring them. But then we get this person you don't know that wants to join us on this quest that they shouldn't know much about. And it sounds like the only person who would probably leak information to them is one of your
No,
beloved guild masters.
You said Bastian on the letter. It said Bastian connected her to me.
But my friend,
That's what she
anything to
says.
say Bastian. I do not understand again why you would go to meet this lady in person as well. Want to send a bluebird, but it's the fact that, as Bartleby said here, and hearing the story from him, or the letter from him, it's amazing in my mind, because nobody has ever, since I've known you, called you those things, Cyrus.
Not to your face, yeah, but definitely to me a lot. It happens a lot.
When?
Yeah, when?
Uh,
Name one time.
We've been with you a while.
yesterday,
I picked you
I
up,
was
Cyrus.
walking down the street and people were like, "Damn, you look good." I was like,
Mighty
"Yeah, you're right."
fine. Cyrus looks mighty fine.
Have
I
you-
was like, show me some of that sugar, little boy. I'm like, okay.
I don't think those are the fellas you want complimenting you.
I didn't say it was a fella, but it could have been. I don't know. I didn't really look over that way.
Did anybody ever say, do you want to be my gang? My gang. No, oh, that's so bad. No, sorry.
That's not good. Bad.
I did
Hazra.
walk. I did walk
Bad
up.
Hazra.
I did walk through the red flame district of this, and
Yeah.
someone did ask if I wanted to climb their beanstalk, but
Oh.
besides that,
But he could
The
have. He
red
could have get.
flame. Oh my lord.
He could have get.
Stop
He could
that.
have get.
finally, okay.
He could have get to the
Yeah.
first leaf. It was just far too high for him to
Far
get
too
up
high.
there.
Is your muffin buttered? God.
Yeah.
Oh, meatballs.
But
At this point, I'm
honestly,
just checking to see whether or not my mature content is on.
Cyrus and I are here. It must be.
yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's
So
Cyrus'
I
plan, it's
mute
different.
you both. You're not actually going live to the
No.
stream at all.
So not the parts of Hazra and Cyrus will be played by
yeah.
somebody more appropriate.
So
Just Enya music.
are you
Like
going to
over-
go and
over our music?
are you going to go and see her, or are you going to
Um,
send a bluebird?
What do you guys think? She suggested I send a bluebird, but it would be nice to show her what I could do.
Cyrus, if you are intending to gain affection of this woman, like your tone suggests, what I would say is that send a bluebird, because that means you're not really desperate to run over to her house and say,
She's
"Look,
missing her
follow me."
husband.
And she's missing her husband, yes.
Well, you know, obviously her husband's probably
Maybe-
reminds her of me, which is why
No,
she
No, you are
thought
not
of me when he
an
was missing.
inspector of the roads or
and
things.
and
Yes.
Hazra is so knowledgeable about women. I have to say.
Yes, yes. I know the way to a woman's heart. It's through the rib cage.
Yeah.
Yes.
Damn.
Hazra lives alone in a cottage in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, okay.
I have a bull called Brutus.
Yeah, with only an oxen for company.
Company. Just
Oh,
hold
no.
out in the wind.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. All right.
Poor
Okay. So
misfits.
I
It's
will
a full
hire.
moon tonight.
Cyrus will hire a bluebird. To go send her a message. Bartleby, I'll have you write it because I know your calligraphy is better than mine.
You
Um,
don't need. You can just tell bluebirds that sort of. So you can write if you wish, or you can just verbally give them the message and then they communicate it. Hence why they're used, because not everybody is able to read and write like Bartleby.
Right. No, I'll have a bluebird.
And Cyrus.
Because Cyrus is literate
Yeah.
and he could write it if he needed to. It's just he really likes to support bluebirds.
Exactly. He just really wants to.
I
doesn't
like
feel the
I like
need to
supporting
write.
small business. All right, I'm just
Mhm.
Yeah,
always been my thing.
very
And keep
small.
the leg
business.
up to your own order.
Yeah.
Okay, so will Cyrus send word that you are accepting her proposal?
Yeah. The more the merrier, guys. Come on. And plus, maybe we can hang out in her nice, comfy, covered wagon.
No, I think the ulterior thing here is, Cyrus, my friend, and I applaud your idea here is to try to reunite her with the husband,
Yep.
Yeah,
which is
That's
greatly more important.
nice.
very much so. Good.
So,
Yeah.
so is you're probably going to leave tomorrow morning early. Is there anything else that anybody would like to do apart from, I'm assuming that you're getting all your provisions and they're all going into you're still taking
Yeah.
Brutus and the wagon?
I am taking British
Yeah.
and Wagon, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
And I will go and looking for provisions. I'll get some foods from Basil as well.
Is there anything that anybody would like to do before you set off?
Like
I-
I should do something.
I'd like to get to my master, my guild master.
Yeah.
Or the closest thing to him to just ask about the general area, if anything has been known about Airwood recently.
Do you have a passion for the Brotherhood?
Personally, yes, I do.
Yeah.
But let me have a look. Hang
Yeah.
on. No, I don't actually at the moment.
Right, so I think the first thing you should have one, because I think Bartleby has one for his order. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
My oath to the Twin Moons.
Yeah. So let's give Hazra a passion for the Brotherhood. So this will sort of like dictate your loyalty, how much you know, etc. And it can be increased via experience rolls. So your passion for it will be 30% plus your power and intelligence.
Oh gosh, really? Power's 27.
You wish.
I
You
know.
wish.
So that's going to be plus 19, so 49.
Brilliant. And then roll your new passion for the Brotherhood. You can name it something else.
I have done. I have.
Please
done.
don't make it rude. Please do not.
It's not. It's not rude. You'll find this mildly funny.
Oh no! Now I'm going to feel that I have to. Yeah, that is good, actually. Mr. Pickles and Captain Kangaroo are thinking, what?
What the hell's going on?
Brotherhood of Man won the Eurovision Song Contest. They sang for us, and they sang "Save all your kisses for me, save all your kisses." I did a really good dance that I actually know. And wow, look at that roll!
I know. Yes.
You're on fire.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So they
Sorry.
they sort of like talk about things, and you have a trance party as well, because whenever you go to the Brotherhood, there's some undertaking with trances to communicate. Just roll because you've got a trance skill, just roll it to see whether or not anything comes from your trance.
Most important thing is finding out about things like this. Where's my trump?
It's on your magic tab.
It's on a magic tab. Sorry, I've never used that before.
Ooh, yes, no. If you're willing to undertake narcotics, you will fall into your trance. If you're not willing,
that's how it happened the first time. So that he assumes that is how you do
brilliant. Yeah, so that makes the roll easy. So you fall into your trance, and you see your fetch, your jaguar spirit, who once you get there, it sort of like comes bounding up to you and sort of like jumps round you and rolls over for tickle, and and remember, your spirit communicates you with you.
Empathically, isn't it?
Yeah, and for the first time, your discussion with your mentor, etc., is that they have no word about anything untoward between here and Irwood. They don't actually have anybody around that area. So they do say that if this would be something that you would like to undertake and regularly travel between Lindo and Irwood, then they're more than happy for you to take it up. Interestingly enough, they weren't aware that the trade route had failed, or there was something wrong with Irwood, something amiss. And they're very grateful for that information from you, which means roll a 1d4. And yeah, so you get 4 points added onto your passion for the Brotherhood as they recognize that you've been helpful. Then you go into your trance. So that seemed to be, they're not aware, they didn't know what was happening. And you engage with the frivolity with your Jaguar spirit. And for the first time, you sort of like naturally start to think of Irwood, what's going to happen, that you're going on this journey. And for the first time, you've always felt very positive vibes from your Jaguar spirit. Does your Jaguar spirit have a name?
Yes, I called him Friend, didn't I?
Friend, yeah. So
Yes.
Friend seems to normally communicates very positively to you, but this time Friend seems to be anxious. He seems to be concerned, and you're not too sure whether or not it's concerned, being anxious or concerned about you or about the quest or anything like that. But he does seem to be a lot more wary as you think about it. But you also get a very strong sense of partnership and being there to protect you and
Yes,
things like
so
that.
wherever I go, he goes. Yes.
Yeah. And you recover, and the Brotherhood is really sort of like impressed with your commitment and this new knowledge that you have brought, and does ask you to consider if the general area of Irwood would be a place that you would like to call your own, and or whether or not that would not be your area. It seems to be optional to you rather than imposed, but they don't have anybody who is in that general area at the moment.
I wouldn't be restricted there all the time, would I be able to?
Correct. Yeah. So
yeah, it's just basically monitoring that area would be my domain.
Yeah. So basically, when there was downtime, you could either you could live in Irwood or the surrounding areas and then come back to Lindo, or you could live in Lindo and just make excursion. But it's almost like it's your part of Odus to make your own, as in.
In a sense of not one, I wouldn't change anything. I'd just make it,
Yeah, and it's got the terrain is very suitable for you.
Yes.
Because it has that flat, open grass land, which would be very similar to the nomad, the steppes that you were in before. So it's something that you could think about.
Well, I wouldn't need to think, to be quite honest. I would look at him and say, it was a great privilege to undertake this. It reminds me of my home.
Yeah.
And I would look to protect that and make sure that the balance is maintained.
And they're very grateful. And just to let you know, as you come out of your trance, Friend does its normal thing. As you sort of like start to disconnect from the spirit world, Friend comes almost like bounding up and jumps into you. And you sort of like get that warmness of the amulet
Truth,
as
yes.
it sort of like comes into you, and that's how you come out of your trance. And your mentors are very pleased with your progression, and they say, you know, pretty soon you might not have to deal with the you might not need the assistance. That's how they put it, the assistance to achieve the trance-like state. It might be
I don't mind that. If you have nuts say afterwards.
yeah.
No,
Yeah,
sorry.
you feel a bit groggy after the sniffing that incense for all the time. Okay, so you're going to be meeting the lady at the northwest exit to Lindo, and to start your journey, and that is a perfect place. It's just gone past, so we'll have a quick 10-minute break when we go off and make ourselves some more drinks and grab some snack. I'm going to have a Kit Kat, I've decided. So do they have Kit Kats in America?
The chocolate and wafer candy bars
Yeah, that's
split into like 4.
yeah.
We invented them.
No, you
Yeah, we have.
No,
Yeah, we
the-
did.
the Cadbury's did. It's in Yorkshire.
They're owned by is it Hershey's?
Cadbury's.
Yeah.
No.
Well, Cadbury's bought Hershey's, or Hershey's bought Cadbury's.
I'm dying to know.
Really?
I have to now say,
I know. I mean, Google that.
who created Kit
No,
Kat?
who?
They're doing it.
Oh,
Kit Kat is a chocolate created
Ah!
by Roundtrees of
What?
York in
British
1935
company.
and owned by Nestle's.
Oh,
they're
it's
owned by
Roundtrees
Nestle,
in
oh.
York. And to be fair, that's about 2 minutes from your house. No. anyway.
Yeah.
He's my neighbor.
My
I used to.
neighbour.
So Roundtrees is a chocolate company. I don't think they still exist.
Owned by Nestle.
Well, Nestle's do.
Nestle's do.
Which is the
And
Yeah.
Hershey's.
so
Oh, that's
It's
weird.
Ranchi Macintosh till 1988. And,
In the United States, Kit Kat is made by is owned by Hershey, but it's owned by Nestle in Britain.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Weird.
I used, when I had a dog, I used to call him Chocolate.
Sorry.
What?
Because he left little
We're-
kisses across the
No,
around the
when I
house.
had- no, it doesn't matter. Shut up, Richard.
I
No.
had a joke. Okay, so
Go,
you
sorry,
need
go
to.
for it, go for it.
Why was my dog called Chocolate? Because he was always Roundtrees.
No.
So Roundtrees is the chocolate
Roundtrees.
factory. And it-
Oh, okay.
Roundtrees.
Okay.
Da, 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 da. Ping. Okay, we will be back at 1:45. We'll be back at 1:45, and we'll see whether or not we've got internet and everybody could be online. But we will see soon. See, the chat thinks my joke is excellent. They haven't made a comment at all,
Yes,
but I know that they do.
With low expectations.
Yeah. Okay, we will see you at 1:45. Don't be late, and we'll meet the lady and see what happens. See you soon, people. We'll be right back. It's really strange because Hazra and I are here. We've got Mr. Pickle showing off his muscles at the top and an empty chair because Captain Kangaroo just having his head to start without me. So it's just fantastic. I love it. Okay, so early next morning, you arrive at the north eastern, the gun show. That's right, Darth. Mr. Pickles has got his guns out. Can I just say that I actually don't think that Mr. Pickles' camera is broken or anything. I just think he likes that picture with his biceps out, and so he's sort of like says, "Oh, sorry, my camera's broken again, everyone," just so he gets that picture. So right, you should see on the map. This is where you're heading off from. If I've moved you across, yeah. So, and it's here that when you arrive early next morning, there is a covered wagon two horses, all tied to the wagon, etc., all ready to go. There seems to be two males. They look more like servants rather than guards at the front, holding the reins of the horses, and then there seems to be two servants at the back of the wagon. It seems to be enclosed, but there also seems to be some kind of like a flap of a tent over the back of it, so it looks quite closed. And then there seems to be two guards who are armored in metal chest plates and helmets, but minor armor, just sort of like cloth in the other places. And they seem to be carrying long spears. And you also notice that they have swords by their sides. Ulrich is there with you. He hasn't got his helmet on, shields on his back, and sword, axe that he carries is sheathed. And as you arrive, one of the guards sort of like snaps to attention, and he comes over to you, Cyrus, and almost like bows in acknowledgement for your greatness, and says, I will alert the lady that you are here, and goes and taps gently on the wooden part of the wagon, and the two servants on either side seem to unhinge down a series of steps, and then each of them holds onto one of the flaps of the wagon and pulls it to one side, and out comes from the wagon this remarkably beautiful middle-aged, about 30-ish woman. She's dressed in pure white. Her hair is cascading, but almost like styled to be cascading. It's long, it falls over her shoulders. She seems to have a very low-cut white dress on, and although it's full length down to her ankles, it has side cuts up both sides. So when she walks, it reveals the length of her leg as she slowly steps down. She looks absolutely stunning. Cyrus, can you make a willpower check for me, please?
Is this to avoid finding my wood? Is
Oh no.
okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
There we go.
you. As she steps out and steps down, you suddenly become very much mesmerized by her movements, the way she walks, the cut of her dress, and everything. But you sort of like pull yourself together and sort of like suddenly realize that she is a client, and she gets off the last step and moves quite sylph-like across to you. Mr. Pickles has given me an unstable connection now. It's just said your internet is unstable. It's back now. And she sort of like comes over to you, Cyrus, and she says, Cyrus, I have heard so much about you. I am honored to be in your presence.
I will bow and then look back up her, offer my hand for her to do the thing, or
Oh yes, and she says, "Oh, I will be honored." And she takes your hand, and you.
The honor is all mine.
Yeah, her
lady.
touch is so smooth and gentle, and
Beige and cream.
yeah, it looks like she's definitely looking after herself, and there's not a wrinkle in sight, not even on her tight-fitted dress. And she goes down and she sort of like gently takes your hand and shakes it and looks up at you And you notice that she has very, almost like navy eyes. And the color of it is such deep blue. It's unbelievable. And when she smiles, she seems to have perfect set of teeth. Her lips are rosy red. And yeah, she's pretty near perfect. And she sort of like says, I'm honored that you have allowed me to accompany somebody of your prowess.
Milady, it is all I can do in order to help find your beloved. What was his name?
His name is Charles.
Charles. Now, Charles, can you tell me a little bit more about him? I'm sorry to
Oh,
jump ahead,
no,
but we
not at
this
all,
is going to be a
Mrs.
long adventure. I want to make sure we're looking in the
I
right
agree
place.
completely, Cyrus. You are so. I apologize profusely. I should have made given you more information. Please accept my humble apology.
Please.
Charles is a noble man. He is professional. He is keen on trade and does his best to meet our needs. Unfortunately, Charles does not have the, shall we say, prowess of a man like you. He lacks
L-
certain skills.
Not many do. Yeah. Now, where was his last correspondence? Was it in Airwood or was it on the way to Airwood?
He left with the company. I have not seen him since 2 months ago now.
All right. Well, we will search out for him, and hopefully, for your sake, we find something of it being him, or knowing at least where he went to.
I am
What's taking
sure.
him so long?
I am sure that you will be able to find him and maybe also protect me on the way.
Absolutely. Now, milady, this is my
The
cohorts.
lady.
Or sorry, Miss the lady.
Or
This is
you
my
can call
cohorts.
me, if you would like a more informal exchange of names, then you are free to call me just lady.
Lady. All right, lady. This is Bartleby, and this guy to my left is, of course, Hazra. And I forgot who that
Are they
statue is,
are
but
are they part?
Ulfric.
They
Pardon?
they must be so lucky to be traveling and to serve a master like yourself.
Sometimes I feel like they forget how lucky they are, but yeah, I think you're right. Definitely.
Have you had them for long?
We've been scouring. We've said the world a few times together. It's hard to say the world by yourself. Sometimes you do need some help, even if you're
Especially,
carrying
yeah,
majority of the
especially
responsibilities.
especially for the menial tasks. I
Oh yeah,
understand.
eating things of that nature. We got Hazard for that. When I get a little boo boo, we have Bartleby,
So
and also when you want to be sober up as fast as possible, you just have Bartleby talk to you, and he's able to. It's like a miracle, really. It's like probably the only miracle I've seen
Bartleby
him
and
do.
Hazra, you can hear this, by the way.
Okay, I did want you to confirm that we are here. I got gestured at, and I was like, "Wait, we're here." My internet's
Yeah.
been cutting out though, so I have excuses.
Okay. Yeah.
So, are they paid help, Cyrus, or do they seek a more of an apprenticeship role in your presence?
It's not it's more of a symbiotic relationship.
Oh, I doubt that very much, Mr. Cyrus.
No,
From what I've heard, you are beyond imagination.
well, I've heard that too, but
So is the gentleman over there, points to Hazra, is he your cook?
he can cook. I think he's mostly a trapper.
Once Hasra sees a finger pointed towards him, he will nod to the lady. and then just stand there with a spear in his hand.
Threateningly or not?
No, just relaxing casually. 'Cause he's ready to go with Brutus, and he's like, just
I can see your
Nothing.
friend is well versed in his servitude towards you, Mr. Cyrus. I like servants like that who.
Yeah,
Oh.
I like servants that listen and do what they're told. That's really nice.
Yes, and
Uh,
do
how's
not
just letting
speak.
him dig his own hole.
And what of your other servant / slave? What purpose
it's-
does he have? Pointing to Bartleby.
He's mostly as kind of like a counterweight to my amazingness. He's mostly there
Oh.
just to keep me grounded.
He
But
is there
also-
to learn from you. I understand.
Oh, how to make an interesting conversation? Yeah, for sure.
Yes,
Um,
I am sure he can learn so much from you, Cyrus. From what I hear, your exploits are sung and talked about far and wide.
Yeah, it's tough to maintain that image, but yeah, it's
Hazra,
the hero of Lindo. That's it's hard to not to hear your own songs sometimes.
Hazra and Bartleby, could you make insight rolls for me, please?
You both notice with a successful roll that
Bartleby,
that Cyrus's pants are really tight right now.
Bartleby and
My
Hazra.
lord.
They're not that tight, believe me. There's a slight bulge, a slight ripple.
Well, they're really baggy,
Bartleby and Hazra, do you wish to use a point of luck to change your rolls? You could both reverse it and they would succeed. That's why I'm asking.
Medivac said something, but he was muted. And I kind of wanted to hear what he had to say first.
It was. You know, the thing I said was it's very tempting, but bloody dog. Hasra wouldn't, purely because he thinks he's got something, but he's not sure, and he's just going to let that go because it's not something that he's versed in people's skills.
Okay.
So he will let that go.
Bartleby?
Definitely, because Bartleby does not trust this lady at all.
Okay. So you
That's ridiculous, but okay.
it's not actually the lady that your insight roll was about.
Okay, well, I wanted to put it out there
But
then.
I'm going to type in the Discord the response.
Secret messages. They're all gonna laugh at you.
No,
Yes.
it,
People are
They're all
pointing
gonna
at
laugh
me.
at you.
there you go.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
That's from
Hmm.
Carrie.
Yeah, you helped carry us through the typing.
Cyrus, lady turns around to you and says, I would be honored if you would accompany me in my wagon, Cyrus, for possibly just the start of the travel. I would love to hear more about your stories of your exploits, and
Oh, absolutely.
please regale me with your awesomeness.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna take you up on your offer.
So I get to see Hazra digging his hole.
And take you up on the offer. That makes sense to me.
And
I'll have my people be in their cart.
and she sort of like
And-
holds out her arm as if
Mhm.
to say, please take it. You don't have a lot of courtesy. It's a
Yeah.
it's a professional.
I actually have that.
Do you have courtesy?
I do. That's the one of the. I have only 4 professional skills.
Shut
That's one of
the
them.
front door.
You want me to roll it?
Sorry, you have courtesy, and you just made fun of Captain Bastion.
Well, because
Count Bastion.
one, I was
No.
drunk,
Well, sorry.
so I don't really remember too much.
You have courtesy, and you went drunk in front of Count Bastion. Well, your courtesy. Good grief.
I can't believe what
I
courtesy.
know it doesn't mean I have to follow it every day of my life. You don't wear a tuxedo to bed. Sorry.
You have an
Is
issue
it
with
un-
authority.
Yeah,
No,
I think
is
he
it
does.
anti-courtesy?
Whoa!
Oh, shut up.
Yeah!
Well done,
I
sir. Well
am
done.
going to wow the fucking short skirt off of her. Damn.
Her long
Alright.
split skirt. Yeah. She is completely bowled over with your courtesy and your the way you treat her. You sort of like help her up into the back of the wagon and, you know, adjust her as she goes in and enter the wagon. And the
I want right when I enter the wagon, I want to do one look at Bartleby and Hazra, and I just want to give one little like, you know, and just walk right.
as the wagon starts to rock.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't come a knocking.
Yes, don't come knocking at us back at the
As they sort of like Cyrus and Lady go into the wagon, they lift up they flip up the stairs and drop the flaps down. Cyrus,
You
just
can hear the music going bow, bow,
Yeah.
bow, bow.
just so you know, Cyrus, the inside of the wagon is quite opulent. It's not just bare bones or wood everywhere. Everything seems to be draped with quite expensive material. And there is obviously things like the cooking equipment, etc., is stored in a rack underneath the carriage, the wagon. You also figured that there's only one main shift bed in here. All the bedding is rolled up and it probably gets laid out for Lady. You don't think anybody else in her party sleeps here. They probably sleep out of the wagon or under it as seems fit. And with Cyrus safely into the back of the wagon, your adventure starts off, and you starting your journey.
On the road again.
I think the first thing, Hazra, you drive the wagon, don't you?
I do indeed, yes.
Yeah.
Brutus is my friend.
And Bartleby, whereabouts are you going to be?
I want to be with Ulrich. I need to talk to him at least at some point, but otherwise I'd probably be sitting in the back of the cart.
Okay, so you can sit in the back of the cart with Ulrich, and I'm assuming that your wagon will go first, Hazra. Is that the
Oh
plan?
gosh, yes, lead the way, definitely.
I'm just putting your wagons on.
I'd be tempted almost to find out who else has a ride skill to ride Brutus while I go scout ahead, but
Would you run ahead, or you have it like? Do you have a horse?
it's an oxen. He's not the fastest beast.
And
in the world.
Cyrus would run ahead. He's a bit
Yeah.
like that. So
Yoo-hoo!
yeah.
I'm light on the foot. I'm light on the feet. I'm gonna say.
So hang on, I'm just rearranging tokens, and then I can bring you
Ooh, that felt good.
on to. Hopefully, you can be able to see this shortly. Let me
Just need to mute the TV because blankety blank's on.
blankety blank, blankety blank, blankety blank,
Blankety blank.
blankety blank, blankety blank, blankety blank. Okay, can you see that?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So you can see the covered wagon where Cyrus is, with Milady. The guards are patrolling either side of the wagon. So there's sort of like one here and one here, and then two servants on the front of the wagon here, here, and then 2 following behind. Yeah, so you head off, and yes, Bartleby, you said that you wanted to have a chat with Ulrich. Has he gone? Do you think
Bartleby,
Bartleby,
Bartleby, Bartleby, Bartleby.
has his internet given up, do you think?
Has he given up?
Is he still in the is he still in the Zoom?
I don't know. He's on my end. He is.
What
Maybe.
will be?
Oh,
That'll be.
Hello.
I should be here.
we can
It's-
we can hear you now.
Okay.
Can you hear me, Papa?
Well, let's see if I can get this out. Start screaming if I turn into a robot, because that's the wrong genre right now.
Okay, yeah. So you wanted to chat with Ulrich.
Yeah, I wanted to get in close to him so that we can talk in hushed tones. I know there's a little bit of space between the Clarks, but Bartleby is quite paranoid. I want to approach Ulrich and try and casually say something like, "So, do you know of the lady before meeting her? I mean."
He sort of like looks at you and says, "No, I am not acquainted with her at all.
Me either.
She obviously knows Mr. Cyrus, though.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they have had some past."
I don't know. The letter made it sound like they'd never met before.
Although it was addressed to him,
Yeah.
and she did regale him with some mighty praise.
That doesn't happen. Oh, it just doesn't happen ever.
Well, I do not know.
I
I do not consider minor human fancies to be of any concern. My road is a lot more true and faithful.
that's why I think I can trust you here. I have a worry in my heart that the lady might be manipulating Cyrus, playing into his the words that work for him.
I am sure Cyrus can help himself.
You saw him fall down in front of Count Bastion, right?
Yes, unfortunately, he has certain, shall we say, afflictions. But then, don't we all?
Yeah, that is fair. I shouldn't judge, but I also don't want him to end up in too deep of trouble.
I'm sure Mr. Cyrus can take care of himself. If not,
Okay.
then maybe he should be rescued from the lady. Are you willing to do that, Bartleby?
I mean, I believe so. I'm not as courageous as Hazra, but I think if push came to shove, I would try and save Cyrus.
Hazra, can you make a perception check, please?
Certainly can.
Yeah, you look ahead, and can you see the area that you're in at the moment with these boulders? This area seems to be coming up, and you notice that there's a couple of humans. They are knelt down or sat down, sort of like either side of the road. So like one here and one here. They seem to be sat down. They seem to have what appears to be begging bowls. They seem to be. They don't seem to be injured or anything like that. And they
Literally
they seem to just be waiting for coinage or other niceties.
You fellows, what are you doing here? How can we help you?
So you're at a distance at the moment, so
all right,
you're
sorry,
quite
I
happy
want
to
to-
move up to them, yeah?
Yes, I want to rein up the my Brutus and make him stop.
Yeah, okay. Let me just rearrange you all slightly. Yeah, and they seem to be, as you approach them and sort of like say, you know,
What is your problem? What is wrong? How can we help you?
and one of them says, please, sir, give a few coppers to some poor and lonely people. We have not eaten for days.
But try to force yourself, man. No, that
So-
way over the
Yeah.
head. No, but where have you come from? Why are you here? This is a kind of a strange place to be begging.
We are unfortunate beggars, my lord. We do not.
You're fortunate to be here because why don't you go to Airwood or perhaps to
Lindo.
sorry, Lindo.
They say we journey back to Lindo. We find that if we keep too close to Lindo, sir, we get, shall we say, in trouble. Are you staying on your wagon, or Hazard to talk to
No,
them?
I will actually step off and I'll spread my arms wide. I mean, I've got my spear with me, but I will say, but there are plenty of opportunities in Lindor. There's work for many a good man, even if you are physically incapable. I have learned this myself. I'm not a friend of Lindor, but I have learned to create a living from it so I can have food for my table.
But we have to rely on my own sight because my friend over there, the beggar on the opposite side, is blind, as you can see.
No, I won't look around.
Bartleby, you can see that because you're on the cart, aren't you, on Brutus's wagon, and you can hear this, and you notice that the guy on the other side's got his begging bowl. He seems to have some linen or sacking wrapped round his eyes.
It fills me with sorrow, and like I made a poor choice on which hall to go down in the Temple of Amriel.
My friend over there is a priest of Amriel. Maybe he can help your friend.
Oh, I am sure that he will be able to look after us and maybe give us some of your cash. And let's go into some initiative.
Oh,
Initiative.
it's been a trap this entire
If I don't-
time.
That's not how begging works.
It's a trap.
Just don't roll anything yet because I'm just deleting you from the turn order. Okay. Yeah, roll away.
Oh,
I got my worst possible roll.
But hold on.
or was it your best?
There we go. How to do that?
Oh, I rolled a 1 plus my meager 9.
Yeah, but sometimes being last is best.
And never when you have touch-based spells.
Yeah.
Actually, that's true. That yeah.
Right. So Hazra, you'll be going first. Let me rearrange you all. So that's going to be the order of things. So first up, Hazra, you're in front of this guy, and he sort of like says, "And give us your money." And he pulls out what appears to be a dagger from inside his tunic, and that starts. So he's still on the ground. So you are up first. What would you like to do?
Instinctively, Hazra will thrust his spear down at him.
Yeah.
He's prone. I honestly don't want to kill him,
Whoa!
but if I do, I do.
Faces
So,
on stun, I see. Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's shocked more than anything, so he's going to be like attentive stab.
I think it's
where are we?
probably, you'll probably see it as just a distinctive stab, you know,
Yeah.
reactionary, and that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'd say 37 out of 108.
Right, hang on it. So this guy will try to parry it with his little dagger, but he is, of course, he will be as hard because he's actually on the ground. So let's see what he does. Oh, why is that rolling it secretly? We don't want that. He got 16 out of 52, so he 16 out of 35 for a hard, so he actually does manage to block it. Your weapon is a medium, I would have thought.
It is, yes.
Yeah, so I'll be taking half damage, so you don't get a special.
No.
So it's
Hit
just
location.
hit
will be-
location and then some damage. Number 6, that goes into one of his.
Left leg always.
Yeah.
And your damage is going to be short spear. Chow. 2 points.
2 into his left leg was.
It's a very tentative stab.
You tore his pants.
Yeah.
No, you need to buy new pants.
Yeah, you sort of like go down a bit of his armor through. He seems to have like cloth armor on, or something like that. But he seems to be absolutely fine. He doesn't seem to be significantly injured. Cyrus, you are serenading your lady friend. There's not enough combat at the moment to make that amount of noise, but as probably in the next round, once everybody has acted, then there might be.
All right. I'm just listening to her. I'm just listening right now. I'm just paying attention to her stroking my ego. That's all I care
Oh,
about.
she's definitely stroking you. Definitely. So Ulrich's next, and he is going to roll something. He's going to roll that.
What? No, sorry, I didn't mean to exclaim that loudly.
What? He rolled the wrong thing there.
That's even more horrifying.
This is what he actually rolls. Okay, then. So, yeah, he'll take that. Go down to that. Yeah, you notice that he sort of like jumps off the back of the wagon, drawing his axe. So he's combining those two, which we're allowed to do. And you, Bartleby, here, he seems to say some words. They're very alien words. He sort of like, you just hear something like, Ishbaya, like that. And you notice that, just roll a perception check for me.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't make standard.
And you notice there seems to be his deep blue eyes have definitely got some kind of a reddish tinge to them as he climbs off. And Bartleby, I didn't roll my bandit, sorry. We'll say that they go after Bartleby for this round. Yeah, Bartleby, you're up.
am I engaged with or like engaged in combat with the bandit nearest?
You're still on the wagon.
Okay, I just want to make sure
yeah.
that
You're still
if-
actually up on the wagon, so you can get off if you wish and go towards him.
I don't feel like that would be the wisest thing. I'd like to stay on the wagon since yeah, stay on the wagon, and then I'll give out a shout. Like just a single word, like just shout robbers.
Okay, yeah. And that's on 10. And then the guards will it's their turn to react now. Up, 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 up. Right. I am going to this is coming at you, Bartleby, up on the wagon. You notice all of it. Well, I tell you what you notice. Let me just do the dice rolls, and then I'll be able to tell you what you notice.
Blood coming out of my throat is quite red.
9. Where my bats am I hitting you?
That would be in my abdomen.
Okay. Let's roll this. 1 point of damage as flying through the air comes an arrow, and you were a perfect target, stood up there, and you notice from your vantage point that another one of these beggars have climbed up onto the rock. You think it's probably hiding behind it, and has released an arrow that has dived into your side at that point. You couldn't react to it because you didn't know what was happening. Okay, we are now going. That's everybody done. So we're down to Hazra. You're up next.
Will I have noticed the arrow going towards Bartleby?
No.
Well, no, I would, because it's behind me, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bartleby didn't even yelp because he has fur armor, which is the bare minimum 1 armor point.
Yeah, that was a 1d8, by the way. You're lucky.
Yeah, I feel very lucky there that my flimsy fur armor joke
Oh
of
my goodness.
protection.
Again, in which case I will look at this man beneath me with his bearing his dagger, and again I will thrust downwards because.
Hang on. Did he act? Have I
No,
missed?
didn't.
Have I missed
He didn't act. He didn't act.
No, sorry. So let's go back to that then, and because they shouldn't.
No, yes, they did.
I thought you just wanted to bully me.
No, they. Oh, yes, they
Maybe
did.
they're scared shitless. I don't know.
No, they're not. So the one on the ground, the one on the ground to you, tries to jab out with his dagger at you.
Oh,
he is
Oh,
hard.
shut the front door.
But he does succeed.
I wish to. Oh,
So if you were to parry, you've got the bigger weapon. No comment, Cyrus, please. You've got the bigger weapon, so
yeah.
it's likely that you won't
I
take
will
any
parry
damage
this.
if you parry successfully.
You get a defensive special, maybe.
Yeah.
If you crit it.
Now you need to remind me of that because my skill roll is -8.
That's right. So you would be. Oh,
I'm still fine at the moment because the -8 would just take me down to 27, but I got 9, so I still hit. So you parry the blow, so he sort of like lashes up at one of your legs, but you managed to get your spear in the way, or maybe he's just casually lifted your leg. Your
wouldn't
foot.
the -7 take yours to not -7? It's -8, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that take you to 17? Because surely wouldn't you add that on to make it worse for you?
It comes off my skill.
All right.
So my skill's 52.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Yes.
So it would be my skill would go down to 44.
44.
So
Yeah,
9
yeah.
was still of hit no matter
Yeah,
what.
yeah.
But just remind me about it because I know I'm going to forget.
Yes. No problem.
So yeah, so
As
that's
his dagger come towards me, I get my spear and I thrust it in his arm to block the blow.
yeah. So this guy approaches Ulrich and takes a swipe at Ulrich. 44 will hit. Ulrich quite naturally parries. His shield's on his back still, so he would just parry with his combat skill. Yeah, and easily knocks the dagger out the way and takes no damage from it at all. So he's down to that. And that is the end of
It will just
Yeah.
check your characters. That was a 0 health of 11.
no, that's because he's on it's a D&D token.
Oh, okay.
So what if I just because if they come over from the other from a D&D character sheet, it automatically shows it. So I can get so I just ignore. Right. So yeah, so that's the end. So Hazra, we're back up to you now. I think you've probably got one.
I have indeed, yes.
Yeah.
Again, I would look at him like I was going to do before, and he stabbed at me. So therefore, I will thrust down with my spear again.
Yeah, nice hit. He doesn't have any points left to parry. He's got no action points left. So you will need a special, then a hit location and damage.
Okay, hit location will be, and I will do this randomly, 10.
10.
Because I'm chest. Oh,
Chest, nice. Going for the kill. Is special first.
Special,
Special
I
hit
would
location
like
damage.
to do, oh God, what's the one where you stop them from attacking again?
Press advantage.
Press advantage, please. And damage is going to be, please be 1, please be 1.
Oh, nice. He's still up. I think I need to do a willpower check against your original skill roll, don't I?
Oh, you below 0, right?
No, because that's what press
Oh, press advantage.
does.
Yes.
It falls to defense. But this allows attack. It only affect. No, I don't need. You
No,
automatically
just
do it.
blocks
Yeah.
your attack next.
So he can't attack.
Next turn. Yeah.
Next turn. Yeah. Nice one. Next up, Cyrus. You hear Bartleby cry out, and a lady sort of like looks at you and says, "Cyrus, please protect me. Don't leave me alone in this undefended in this wagon."
I'll turn to her and say, "I got this." Wink at her, and then I'm going to jump if I can, because I don't know. Are these rocks right here? Are these rocks for sure? Or
Well, you're going to have to come out of the back of the wagon first.
oh, is it back to the wagon? I thought there were side doors.
Yeah, no. So you can get out of there and come to where you are now so you can see the scene. Because you won't know anything's happening until you actually come out and sort of like get to here.
Okay.
And then you can see the thing. So next up comes the guard.
How far can I go down?
Well, your action is actually taken getting off the wagon.
Okay.
So I'm letting you just sort of like come around the corner because I'm a nice DM. I'm just too nice. Don't laugh at that, please.
Kill you.
This guard hits out at Ulrich again with his dagger, but misses. And your guard hits out at you. Oh no, it won't, because you pressed advantage. He can't do anything that turn. Bartleby, you can see that the guy up here is reloading his bow. Let's make sure that
I figured he would. That mean person.
yeah, well, I have to try bows out sooner or later.
If Newman was here, that guy would not be in the.
You know, Darth has already said that he knows Newman is not playing because he's not saying things like "I am the law." I am the law. Be warned. I am the law. It's like nothing. Right.
Bartleby doesn't have a catchphrase.
Oh, you need one then. His longbow, low 2. Okay, then. So he's used one of the 2. Yeah. So we're now. He's down to that now. That's that guard. That's that guard. That's guard. Done. Okay, Ulrich's next. Ulrich slams his battle axe into this bandit.
Yeah.
And he gets a crit. So he is going to do max damage. So the hit location, that because he's got a crit, so he can do that. He's going to hit it in the guy's 15. Nice. I think that's an arm. Yeah.
Right arm.
And he's going to do max damage. So his battle axe is 1d6 plus 1. So the dice will be 6, because you can do the maximum of 1 dice. So that's 6. He'll do 7 points of damage to the guy's right arm. Which
He doesn't have a damage bonus?
I
thought he had rippling arms.
It should have added it already. Oh no, because I've just done a crit. That's true. Yeah. Nice.
I mean, he can be a little bit less muscly if he wants, but
oh no, he's very happy with that. And there's a sort of like a bang. Oh, hang on, I had the wrong character sheet open for that. Just let me just check. No, he doesn't have a damage modifier. I had the bandits open, sorry. So he's going to do, yeah, so this guy's arm, he sort of like virtually slices it. There's instantly a serious wound there. So the bandit needs to make an endurance check against my original roll, which was 13, which is not good.
But it was a critical 13, yeah?
Yeah, critical. Yeah, that's right. Thank you. Yeah, but the bandit fails, and his arm goes limp as the bleedings, and he sort of like falls to the ground, and he seems to be trying to scamper backwards away, if that makes sense, holding on to his bleeding arm. He's dropped his dagger. Bartleby.
Bartleby is distracted by the person trying to fill him full of holes. So Bartleby's going to point his hand and gesture with the power of Amriel and give a little shock.
Nice.
91 meters. 61.
61.
You can evade in your tree if you like. If you can. Maybe you want to fall out of a tree. I wouldn't mind that.
He doesn't have any action.
However, Amriel.
He hasn't got any action points left. He used the first one to fire, then the second one to reload, so he's out. So do him some damage. Hit location.
Doesn't do any damage, but it does hit in his 6, which is his left leg. And I guess if you're not evading it, there's no resist you can do for endurance. So his left leg is stunned for 1 turn.
1 turn, which so there's this unearthly crack as you shoot down the power of Amriel down to it. It hits his leg. It deadens his leg instantly, which means he's going to unfortunately fall over. He'll make an athletics check.
Yeah.
Fails and rolls off backwards off the back of the wagon. Hazard,
Damaging his head and dying.
Hazra, do you have any action points left?
But sadly, no. That was turn 3, so no.
Okay.
Turn 2, sorry.
Cyrus, do you have any
Yes.
action points left?
Yes, I do. And I'm going to use it to throw one of my daggers towards this fella.
Cool. So that will be inter-existing combat.
Mhm.
So it'd be a hard roll.
'Cause I'm just entering combat.
Yeah, so you just roll your combat skill.
Okay. Ooh, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Alright, I'll.
So you lob it over at him. I'll need a special, then hit location and damage.
You're taking Hazard's mantle.
I really don't.
I'm gonna
know
say
about
that's classic Hazra. I don't care about the hard penalty. I'm throwing anyways.
Just check it.
Could I do I forgot, is max damage, is that
Crit.
that's a crit special, right? Try to think of remember what specials there are for ranged weapons.
Can you do impale with ranged?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, I'll do it.
'Cause that's the second best when you can't do max damage.
So I'm gonna do hit location 16, and hold on, what is?
Plus, if you have a hard time pulling the dagger out later, you know, and I can give you a little prayer of might. Have Amriel help you out.
The dagger, just leave it.
16, yeah, will be
is-
his arm.
Yeah.
Impale. No.
Um,
Okay, no.
Impale does damage in and damage out, doesn't it?
I thought you roll twice and take the better one, and then it does half damage being pulled out, isn't it?
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, so roll
Alright,
another
alright.
1d4. And let's see if we can get higher than. Oh!
I got a 2.
Dude, let's
Yeah!
slowly make our way up there. 16, wasn't it? Yeah. So, yeah. He takes minor damage into his arm. It looks like his armor stopped the majority of it. Guards are out. Ulrich's out. Bartleby, you're out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not spending any luck points for turns.
Cyrus, do you have an action point left? Oh, no, you
I
can't.
do.
No, you didn't, because you would have to dither the first one. You would have lost one of them as we went through the first turn, because
Oh,
you
okay.
can't just sort of like save them up. When it comes to you either use it or lose it. So,
Got it. Okay.
so and you couldn't do anything because you didn't know anything was happening. So
Exactly. Yeah. No.
round 2, combat round 1. Everybody is re-up on skill points. Action points. And Hazrat, you're first.
Azra again is a little bit shocked that his spear hasn't done what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, it's letting you down today.
It is, but then again, he doesn't really want to hurt this man, and he will point his spear at him and say, "Surrender."
I thought you would. Yeah. So if you want him to surrender, you need to compel surrender, which is a special. So you need to
Yes.
hit him and then compel surrender.
Surrender. That's right. Yes. That's So 27 out of 108.
I just didn't know. So I'm just seeing whether or not it's. No, yeah. So it's not a crit or anything like that. So, yeah. So you hit. He's still alive from that one. So he will try to parry. He misses because he's hard at the moment because he's on the ground, and so he misses. So I need
You have
your
willpower, don't you?
special is going to be compel surrender. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So I need your to hit your hit location and damage.
Okay. Clear amount,
It's
so
willpower,
13.
isn't it?
Oh, right arm, maybe not. And-
Let's just make his willpower roll. Oh,
Oh,
he
Take that.
he
Put a point in it.
fumbles. He fumbles. What damage? Oh, ouch! Into
5 in
his
the right arm.
right arm. So
Your arm's off, man.
yeah, he's slightly injured there, but he is he's now compelled to surrender. So I'm just going to put a red dot on him so we know he's finished. This guy has got a numb leg, so he's trying to get away. You don't know what's happening to this guy. Ulrich steps forward and swipes down his battle axe. This sort of like comes straight down onto the guy. The guy's helpless, so he doesn't need a 2-hit roll or anything like that. He will do some damage. That would be a leg. And he will swipe down with it. And he will... let me just do some damage. So he does 4 points of damage as he brings the axe down squarely on this guy. And Bartleby, you're up.
Bartleby wants to use his prayer, Amriel's vision, which is the same as Witch Sight. I just renamed it. And I want to glance around in the woods to see if there's anything that would qualify for that. But if I can, like, use the majority of my glancing, I want to look at the ladies' caravan, see if there's any energies coming from that.
Yeah, got you. Okay, then. So roll for your spell to happen. Oh, yeah, easily. Okay, then. Let me just roll something. That's nice. So you look around. You can't see anything around you that is enhanced magically, but you do see, you look at the wagon, the wagon at the back, apart from the guards looking very ready for action. There's no nothing emanating from the wagon at all. However, there is something emanating from Ulrich. He seems to, in almost like them with magical sight, he seems to almost like be on fire. There seems to be very dark red flames dancing from his feet going up his body as he swings. And as you sort of like look around as he brings the axe down onto the guard, and you almost like see some of this red stuff make contact through the axe and seems to suck back into Ulrich, and he almost like casts his head backwards, and yeah, you see those red eyes gleaming as he finishes the act. Okay. That'll be the end of that combat round. Yours is surrendered. The one in front of yours has surrendered. You have no idea where this guy is. You think he might have run off, but you're not too sure. Bartleby, you're going to be the... Cyrus, do you want to do anything from your distance? This guy in front of you is unarmed and is being held by spear point. Is that right, Hazra? Do you think compel surrender?
That is very much right.
Yeah.
I've jabbed it at him, and he's like, "Oh,
Yeah. Cyrus, is there anything you would like to do?
I want to approach and I want to pull out my dagger.
Yeah, so you can do that. That's not a problem. Bartleby, is there anything you would like to do?
Yeah, I want to, since Ulrich is the closest, I'll try and not show that I'm kind of freaked out by his energies, but I'll point over to where the guy fell and said, "There's one more in the woods, I think."
Behind the boulders, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, behind the boulders.
Yeah, and you sort of like look round and you notice that Ulrich is crouched over the person, doing some kind of gesticulation with his hand over, almost as if he's blessing, like you would do consecration or something like that. He seems to be, you notice that he's muttering under his breath, his eyes are shut, and he's gesticulating over the guard's, the beggar's body, who looks like he's dead. Hazra, we come to you now. You've got this beggar at spear point. Yeah, what would you like to do?
I want to look him in the eye and say, "Why are you doing this? How many people are out there?"
We are just poor beggars.
Money.
I'm sorry. Tell me another one of that. Stick my spear through your heart.
Well, sometimes we we encourage people to.
To me now.
We sometimes encourage people to donate.
You tried to ambush us.
Yeah.
You had a bowman on the rocks up there trying to kill my friend.
That's our encouragement.
For that, I should kill you myself now.
Oh, please, sir, don't kill me. I'm an unarmed beggar. Surely you don't want to waste your time with an unarmed beggar.
Your arms have nothing to do with it. If you think life is so hard, maybe I should end it for you myself.
I will
Hazra,
go.
Hazra, obviously he wants to be an unarmed beggar. You should cut off his arms.
He says,
Cyrus.
please, sir,
That's what he wants, right?
I'm sure I will change my ways.
No, you won't. I've seen your kind before, sir, and you do not change your ways. You keep it and less and say, "I will do this, I will do that, please don't kill me." And then the moment my back is turned, you do the same thing, and then I have to come and find you again.
So
and then I kill you.
So Hazra, what are you going to do with him?
I'm gonna put my spear against his cheek, and I'm gonna slowly make a cut down his left-hand side cheek. And then I say, "I'm going to let you go. But if I see you again, I will know this face because it has my mark on it."
Yeah, and he sort of
And
like.
if I,
Sorry, do you want to say anything else or not?
no, I was going to say, if I see his face again, I will know because it has my mark on it. And I will know if you have done wrong.
He says,
and I will
I'm going to
find
be
you."
so good. I'm going to join an order and look after myself. And he sort of like scrambles to his feet and heads off back along the road heading back to Lindo. Yeah, go for it.
As you guys, I'm going to run.
Yeah, and he just sort of like runs as fast as he can. And you notice that as he's running coming out of your sight, You notice that he drops a few coins from his pouch as he runs. Bartleby, you sort of like get down, and as you get down off the wagon, Ulrich turns to you and says in quite a normal flat tone voice, his normal flat tone, "This one is dead."
No shit.
That
Sherlock.
that much is clear. I have a question, and the gesticulations. You said it was similar to consecrate. It wasn't similar to like my late arrest miracle, correct?
Well, roll either your passion for your order or your devotion. Either one I'll take.
I'm very devoted.
Oh, wow, you are.
Yeah, you haven't seen anything like this before. It's nothing that you are familiar with. It seemed to be religious in some form, but also not religious. It's definitely, you've studied all the old gods, the new gods, and their religion, and this is not something that you haven't seen this blessing, for want of a better word, before.
Okay. Yeah, it's probably not the best time to ask him about his religious beliefs.
Cyrus! Cyrus!
Yes, my lady.
I'm all alone in my wagon, Cyrus. Is everything
Oh, I'm
okay?
Yeah, just a bunch of roadkill. Don't worry, we took care of it. And I'll approach. It's like, you guys take care of this thing. Can we move on? And I'll approach and go back into her
Her wagon. You
her
go.
sanctuary.
You go back
So-
into you climb into her wagon, and you sort of like open the flaps, and in you go. And she is
No.
she is now, as you come in, she is sort of like she's regaled herself in a
Good.
sort of like almost like a lying position, propping herself up with one elbow, and she's got one knee bent over the other one to expose her thigh. And yeah, make your will power check, please.
Jesus Christ.
Make your Viagra check.
I don't know. Wow.
Yeah, you
Right on the tip.
get into the wagon, and she says, "Cyrus, come and lie near me, please." And you agree and step into the wagon, and the flaps slowly close behind you. Meanwhile, back outside, Hazra, Ulrich, and Bartleby, is there anything you would like to happen before you set off once more?
Hazra, having hopefully spoken to Bartleby, will know about somebody up here.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
want
Bartleby would
to-
share that there was somebody shooting dole arrows at him.
I want to move to there and see if I can see anybody.
Yeah, you think there was. He had his leg numb for a turn by Bartleby's shock thing. Just roll a perception at hard for me, Hazra.
I'm in the battle and sort of like I've just told this other person what I thought, and I've just run over here and gone, nothing here,
No,
nothing
yeah.
here.
You think they might have run away,
Mm.
and definitely not hiding behind the next boulder.
I won't waste my time tracking. I'll just go back.
There's definitely yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Bartleby, is there anything that you would like to do just before we set off again?
No, I think Bartleby's good to move along.
And Ulrich wipes his battle axe that has some of the bandits' blood on, and climbs up onto the wagon next to you, and he sort of like looks at you. Can you just make for me a deceit roll?
That's directed towards me,
Bartle's-
correct?
Correct, yeah.
Barton is really good at these. For a
Uh,
priest.
You use that last point of luck though.
Last point of luck. Bartleby has
Well,
3
it's got-
points
it's got
normally.
17 points of luck.
There's definitely some. Your eyes sort of like meet, and his eyes are back to a deep blue, and he's sort of like, there's some kind of. It seems that you're hiding something and he's hiding something, but you both sort of like don't know what they're hiding. He does say to you, I think this is going to be quite a dangerous trip. And he unleashes his shield and straps it onto his arm. And you notice it's basically metallic, but on the front, there's some inlaid metalwork that appears to be of the deepest red that you've ever seen. And yeah, he straps it to his hand. And just so you all know, Ulrich's first free action will always be toward location. Okay, that will be his first free action. You don't need to do an action point on it because it's free. So he will then be passive blocking anything on certain parts of his body at that point. And at that point, you head back off after Hazra marking a beggar, sorry, not a bandit, a beggar with his spear. And you head off a little bit further along the path when it comes to your time to camp, because night is closing in. And that is where we will leave it until next time, as the party slowly sets up camp, and we'll see whether or not Cyrus ever gets out of the back of the wagon ever again.
He's in the banger bus.
Oh no!
Sorry.
Okay, thank you everybody for coming along tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it. Poor Darth. Twitch went down for Darth at one point, so I hope it didn't go down for everyone, because otherwise I will have lost the recording, because I export it straight from
Oh, yes,
Twitch.
from Twitch.
Yeah, so I don't actually record it separately, but hopefully it'll be fine. Okay, thank you everybody who came along tonight to support us. We really do appreciate it. By next week, we might have some Stream Loot cards up and running, so do keep an eye out for that. And yeah, until next time, look after yourself, stay healthy, stay safe, but most importantly, stay positive. And it's goodbye from me. See you later. And it's goodbye from them.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Amazing.
Bye.